We be fussing, we be screaming, but you the one I wanna lay beside this evening. I'm gonna come back even when I'm leaving. You give good love and I receive it. When you feeling down, I'ma sing to you. That ring on your finger got a ring to it. That's that real love, God-fearing love. It may not be how we dreamed it, but it's still love. Can we ever sit down?
I kept telling you, babe, we got to get the Airbnb, and you didn't, and it ended up costing us double.
That's true. So you're bringing up old stuff to try to. Okay.
What I'm saying
fine.
is that
that's fine.
That
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Don't. What you looking at? Ain't no birds up there. What I'm saying
I'm
is
looking
that
away.
what's good for the goose better be good for the gander.
I'm looking away. I got the business from you for that too. Trust and believe. You went on and on about that.
Because
so this is the first time I've
you
ever
a
went
lie.
on about the whole Rolex
Julius,
situation.
Don't lie. When that man told us how much money it was gonna be, you let me have it.
Not really.
Yes,
I
you
really
did.
Let you have it.
Yes, you did.
Not really.
You brought up how I didn't listen
and
how I didn't listen to you, and you gonna get tired of not listening to me. And I tried to tell you everything you do costs money. Oh yes, sir.
What part of you've been able to say, baby, right? If I wouldn't have swam like that, it wouldn't have been as expensive.
I cannot
as
agree
a
with
fix.
you because it's not my fault. Because the jeweler, who he's supposed to be making sure them watches is tight.
So basically, what you're saying is, I shouldn't be upset with you. My qualm and total beef should solely be with him.
Total beef, because you went and spent a bunch of money, thousands of dollars on a watch that he didn't examine thoroughly enough to know that crown was compromised. Had that crown been not compromised, I would have been able to do what Rolex advertises that you can do. He's wrong for that, which is why when we go pick it up, you need to be like, nah, bro, I'm not paying full price for fixing it, because you're going to need to take responsibility.
I'm going to do that. Trust.
Because let's be clear, if the crown had been what it was supposed to be, my Rolex would have never broken. Your Rolex just broke because it was just time for what they call a Rolex tune-up.
Yeah.
My watch was broken because the crown was compromised and the water got inside and tore the club up. Two different. Yours really wasn't broken. It happens. Thanks, David. Thanks a lot. You know, you got some outtake footage for the dang on Rolex.
I'm still not rolling with that.
Well, how could you not?
I'm not rolling with that.
Okay, for example,
it's not a good idea to take your Rolex up on
that's
the water
like
and just
me.
hang out.
That's like me
care what
buying
nobody
you a pair of Air Maxes, and Nike is like, these Air Maxes, you can squat 300 pounds. You go squat 200 pounds and the bubble busts. That's like me going off on you talking about you ain't had no reason squatting, and you're like, but I didn't. But this is what they advertise. Come to find out, it was faulty from Nike. I'm going to keep going in on you? Or is it Nike's fault? And he's going to research Rolex. He's going to keep doing this because... All right. Are we recording? No, we've been recording. Hello, Julius. Hello, Julius.
What, man? What do you want, man?
I cannot. Are you really still on this?
What do you need?
I need you to tell.
What do you need?
What's up, everybody?
What do you need?
Welcome back to another great episode of Make Marriage Great Again, where if you were here a couple episodes ago, we got into it about my Rolex watch getting wet because the crown was compromised. And that's Rolex's whole thing, is if that crown is sealed the way it's supposed to be sealed, then it provides like a submarine type hatch, no water, makes it waterproof up to 100 meters. I was in the pool, splashing around a little bit. You act like I was breaststroking. I was in the pool, splashing around.
I apologize. I was wrong for interrupting you. I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
I was splashing around for a little bit, and a month later, my watch, I couldn't wind it to Rolexes. If you don't wear them, they'll stop moving. You have to then pop the crown out. You have to set the time, set the date. pop it back in. Well, after I did that and went to go move my wrist, there was no movement. So I took it back to our jeweler, and they opened up the watch, and they called us a couple of days later and said there's all this water damage, and the inner parts are rusted out. I said, well, I don't know how it's rusted out. You know, it's waterproof up to 100 meters. And then they start talking about, well, that's what they said. Maybe I didn't clasp it correctly, or maybe it didn't catch correctly. Nevertheless, the crown was compromised. Julius is still, weeks later, after this episode has aired, he is blaming me for going to swim. So my question is this. Is it my fault that I did something with the watch that was advertised to do? Or is it our jeweler's fault for, before selling that watch to Julius, making sure that it was inspected, that crown wasn't compromised? I would love to hear what people have to say. Julius is saying it's both and.
So
I had no business going to swim in a watch that's advertised for that. And so I said to him, if I buy you a pair of Air Maxes or Timberland boots or whatever, and let's say the Tim boots say they are advertised to withstand, I don't know, 2 tons or whatever, and 1 ton gets dropped on it and the boot breaks. That's like me yelling at him. And he's like, but the boot was advertised to be up to 2 tons. So my beef is not really with Julius. My beef is really with Timberland. I'm wrong. Because I think what you're more upset is that I didn't listen to you. I think that's what you're more upset about. I don't think you're upset that I swam in the watch, because if I would have just swam in the watch and then this would have happened, I don't think you would be upset. I think you're upset because you suggested that wasn't a good idea, and I did it anyway.
So I take issue with both you and the jeweler, because I'm in total agreement that the watch should be able to do whatever it is that is advertised to do or not do, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
100% agreement with that.
All right.
I take issue with you, yes, partially because you didn't listen. And here's the deal, y'all. The disobedience is attached with a money deficit. So now it is a $1,500 fix versus, because her watch was going to do whatever it was going to do regardless, because Rolex watches get to a point to where
they need a
tune-up or whatever, you know what I mean? And so it was going to be probably a $500 to $700 fix regardless at some point in the near future. But what could have been a $500 to $700 fix ended up turning into a $1,500 fix that wouldn't have had to be $1,500 if she would have listened. Now, here's the deal. Ultimately, I take issue with the jeweler, ultimately. But intermediately, I take issue with my wife for just not listening to her husband that's trying to put her in the best situation. Now, as far as the whole waterproof, water-resistant piece and all of that, I've been doing my research. And I do know that they do say that they're supposed to be waterproof for up to so many meters up underwater and all of that. But I think we try to make the terms waterproof and water resistant interchangeable, and I don't think they are interchangeable. What I believe is that waterproof and water resistant are different.
What does
this is what it
the
says.
watch say?
Rolex watches are not waterproof, but rather water resistant. The term waterproof suggests that a watch is impervious to water under all conditions, which is not possible due to the nature of watches and the fact that their water resistance can vary depending on several factors such as age, wear, and the condition of the seals.
Right. And so
Let me finish. I allowed you that freedom. Over time, gaskets can degrade and the water resistance of a watch can diminish. That's why regular maintenance and pressure testing are recommended to ensure the seals and gaskets are intact. Water resistant is a more accurate term and means that the watch can withstand water ingress to a certain degree, often up to a specified depth and for a limited amount of time. Different watches are rated for different levels of water resistance, typically measured in meters or atmospheres, where 1 ATM is equivalent to the pressure at a depth of 10 meters.
Are you going to read the whole thing seriously?
No, I'm just saying. Again, to my point, I don't think that it's in the best interest of a Rolex owner to just allow their watch to hang out underwater for extended amounts of time. I don't think that's the best idea.
And tell the millionaires who are diving off their yacht in Belize
for a quick second.
No,
it's
Julius,
boom
this
boom.
is what they do because this is what the watch, them submariners, this is what the watch is known for. Rolex has a commercial. You can Google the commercial.
I know
Never
what the
mind,
commercial says.
Never mind.
Here's what happens. No,
Topic.
I got to get this piece out here.
Oh my
you know what they're doing? They're taking that watch down to whatever depth or level it says that it's supposed to. And you know what else they're doing? They're coming right the heck back up out the water.
Julius, you act like I was scuba diving, my nigga. I didn't have no thing on my back. I was in the pool.
You hung out.
I did not.
You hung out.
I did not. I don't even swim like that.
You was in the pool dog playing sharks and minnows and every dang thing else with the
not.
boys.
You're lying.
You're lying. Oh my God. I cannot believe
this. This was for our anniversary. We went to Fort Lauderdale.
Babe, I was in the pool playing sharks and minnows with the boys.
I think you're confused on what trip this was.
All right. Okay.
This was the anniversary trip that it has snowed crazy back here. This was just 2000 and
it wasn't that trip.
It was
we
20.
went to Hollywood. No. It was Hollywood, California Hollywood, Florida where we went. It was that trip. We sharked and minnowed. We had us a good time.
Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale is all the same, but whatever. Today's episode is going to be entitled
She got on my last nerve.
Do you have to listen to your spouse when they suggest? Because let's be clear, you didn't tell me not to get in the water with the Rolex. You suggested I shouldn't get in the watch with the Rolex. And the fact that we are still talking about this stupid watch.
It's David's fault.
All of this.
It's David's fault.
It's David's fault. Because we came in here wanting to record something else. And David said, from the last episode, I did all this research on Rolexes. And, you can get in the water with them. And so then Julius, oh, boy, he started researching. And he's still standing by his guns about what I shouldn't have did based off of a suggestion. So then I said, what about the time you costed us $1,500?
We're getting into something.
That's what today's episode is about.
So,
do you have to listen to your spouse or your significant other when they just suggest?
So here's what I would say.
I like how you totally took that because I'm still going to tell your business.
No, you can tell my business.
Okay.
No, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to 8 Mile the whole situation. So what happened was...
No.
What happened
you don't get to do that.
Yes.
You don't get to do that.
No, what happened was... Okay, so here's the deal. This is what I want to say. So they give you certain things that, like these sports cars can handle, right? They can turn... these corners at certain speeds at, all of this craziness, and they'll show the sports car.
Because it's been tested to do that.
But here's what's not a good idea.
What?
To consistently and constly do that.
Julius, I did
it's not a good idea.
Or constantly get in the water. You had just bought me the watch.
Okay.
I didn't even have the watch for that long.
Okay, so here's what she's wanting to tell about me. So what
I
would say is I do think we got to know our spouses enough. And does that mean that we have to be in some sort of suggestion jail to where we got to do everything that our spouses is suggesting every time they suggest it? No, I don't think that's the case. But I do think that there are certain things that we need to be sensitive about, and we need to probably adhere to whichever spouse is suggesting whatever.
Here's the problem with the Rolex. This is what happened. When Julia suggested it to me, I had already researched, could I get in the water with it on my phone? Because my first mind was, you take the watch off.
Right.
Because I take my diamond earrings out. I typically take my jewelry off before I get in the pool because he had bought me.
Come on.
He had bought me.
Let us hear it.
A pair of diamond studs, and they were a carat each. And
what happened to them, sweetheart?
Well, this is what happened. So My earrings are everyday. David, do not laugh, okay? This is my jewelry's everyday jewelry. Like my wedding ring, my necklace, my earrings are everyday jewelry for me. And so at the time, we had gotten a new cleaning contract, and we always clean the accounts first to get the flow of the building and stuff like that before we hire people. And so we were cleaning the account, and it was a homeless shelter. We came home from work. It was a hot summer day.
What happened to the earrings?
So I went to go grab my ear, and the earring was gone.
You lost them.
Now, in my defense, which I thought was a defense, they were screwbacks.
There's another manufacturer defect she's saying here.
Well, because when I went to go research that, is that if it's not screwed on the right way, then the screwback is not able to be as enforceable as it needs to be.
But initially, guess how she presented it to me, y'all?
How did I do that?
She presented it to me as if it was a manufacturer defect.
No, I didn't. He said, why?
They gonna sell me.
He said, why are you wearing those to work? And I said, by this time, I had the earrings for a year. I mean, I have worn these earrings every day for a year. They're carat diamonds. I'm not, in my mind, the more you take them off and put them back on, you're heightening the chances for it to fall down the sink, for you to drop it on the floor. And so I wasn't taking them off at all. Maybe just to clean them. And then I guess when I went to go clean them and screw the screw back on, I didn't screw it on the way it's supposed to be screwed, which then at that point it's no longer doing its job.
No, she told me they gonna sell us these earrings with the messed up screw back.
I did not. Shut up.
What you said.
I did not. I ate that when I said maybe you didn't screw it on right. But his question is, why would you even wear those to work? Why would you even wear them to work? And I'm thinking to myself, like, you want me to take them off every day?
Here's a prime example. She should be able to wear those to work, and she should be able to come home with them still in her earlobe in a perfect world. But we know that this world ain't perfect. And so instead of everything that you can do, that don't mean you should do. And so just because you can wear them to work, don't mean you should wear them to work. Just because,
what if I had an office job, though?
Let me finish. Just because you can take the Rolex underwater, don't necessarily mean you should. It's the same principle.
So then, okay, if I had a desk job, would you be saying that?
That's not what we're talking about right now.
You
We're talking
said
about
to work.
Real things that happened. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
I love when you overtalk and repeat yourself so that I can't get a word in edgewise.
I was talking. You were interrupting me.
I asked a question.
I was trying to continue finishing.
I asked the question. You just kept wanting to repeat yourself. I said, if I had because you said wear them to work. So there's women right now that are at work right now with diamond earrings in their ear.
I'm talking about that job.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the fact that I did make the suggestion that you not do that.
No, you never said nothing about the earrings.
You just said it. You just said it.
No, you never said
David
anything.
can rewind the tape. You just said, I don't think it, you said, Julie said, I don't think it's a good idea for you to wear those to work. You just said it.
I did not say that. I said, you asked me, why did you wear them? When I went to go touch my ear and I said, babe, I lost my earring. The first thing out of your mouth was, why are you wearing them to work? You know what we do. You know why, you know where we work at. Why are you wearing those to work? And I said, it's a screwback. And so I'm saying all that to say, to go back to the Rolex situation, before we went down to the pool, I had already Googled, could I get into the water with the Rolex? And of course it was like, yep, 100 meters, as long as the crown is tight. So I pull my crown out. I make sure my crown is tight. I go downstairs to the pool. Julius is poolside with what you got? One of the Miami Vices. He got a half virgin, of course, pina colada with the strawberry top. And I'm about to go get in the water. He was like, whoa. I wouldn't get in the water, babe, with that.
And so because you Googled, what I said meant absolutely nothing to you.
Because I'm looking at what Rolex is saying versus what you're saying.
Did Rolex say that, or was it something online?
No, it was Rolex. Online. You can go to Rolex. You can go to Rolex.com right now. Rolex had said it. So, and then I watched a video. I watched a video of a fool getting in the water with his Rolex. It was like a white YouTuber, and he was doing that, like testing it and stuff. I'm like, I'm about to just get into this pool water. So when he suggested it to me, and now I will admit, I do this a lot to you. I will take an expert's advice over what you say. I've done that. I've done that a lot. And so in my mind, you own a Rolex, but you're not the manufacturer.
But here's the crazy
And so
part.
when Rolex says that, I'm thinking I can get in the water.
Here's the crazy part. The expert's advice that you took over mine right then didn't pay for that Rolex.
I mean, no, it didn't.
Correct. And so the nigga that paid for the Rolex, you ain't studying what he talking about. That's a whole nother conversation, though, y'all.
No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Since you want to come in here starting stuff, let's talk about it.
No, let's go back to the
I'll
time.
knock all this stuff over. Well, not the cameras, David, because they're too expensive.
Let's go back to the time when I didn't listen to you. Tell your story about.
So we're talking about. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Okay,
Yes.
right now, because I know it's getting juicy, but take the time to do that. We are currently talking about. Do you have to take the advice of your spouse
or the suggestions
off the power of suggestion?
Yeah.
Not, I'm telling you, don't do that. I'm just suggesting that may not be a good idea. So I think the people by now know when it comes to spending large amounts of money, and we've talked about it on the podcast, Julius does not like it. He's very calculated. He's risky at the same time, but he does calculated risk. We're going on vacation. Anybody that knows me, I can be a worrier. So because of that, I am a preventative individual. I see like 97 outcomes. Call me Dr. Strange, okay? I can see 97 outcomes happening prior to them happening. And because of that, I try to plan for all 97 outcomes. We're planning a vacation. I get on Airbnb, love Airbnb. And I find the house that we want. I love the house. I send it to Julius. Julius, of course, looks at how much the house costs. And I know him well enough to know our Airbnbs have to have certain things for him to go ahead and spring to pay for it. The house has everything. A week goes by. I come back. I'm like, Julius, we need to get this Airbnb.
Facts.
We need to pay for it. Now, we have the money to pay for it. He's like, okay. And I'm also an amazing wife. I don't spend any money without talking to my husband, unless it's like grocery. Look at me. Don't look at the camera. Groceries, like stuff for the house. But even down to my car getting fixed. If my car is $1,500, if my car is $1,700, all of that goes through him. So I hit him up again. I'm like, babe, come on, we need to get this Airbnb. All right. Like, okay. But he's not giving me a definitive yes or no. Another week goes by. So now we're week 3, and he does this with plane tickets too. So now our vacation, instead of it being a month out, it's the week before we're going on vacation. The Airbnb, instead of being $1,500 for 6 days, it's like $3,200. And we also have no choice because everything else is booked. And he's like, okay, get it. I'm pissy because not only did you not listen to me 3 weeks ago, now that's $1,700 that we can't take on vacation that now we're paying for in the house. Now we get on vacation and now he don't want to spend no money because of how much the Airbnb costs. So now he's like, we going to vacation in this Airbnb. And I'm like, but now we're prisoners in the Airbnb because you procrastinated.
Because I didn't listen.
And that was $1,700 that we could have went out and kicked it.
And so I think the reality is I cost us extra money then that we wouldn't have had to. Well, we were going to spend that money anyways. We would have just preferred not to have to spend it in the Airbnb.
Right.
I'd have rather took $1,500 to $1,700 and had a much greater time on vacation as opposed to spending it in the Airbnb. Right. It was within budget, but now we had to adjust what we did to make everything still fit.
So why didn't you listen to me? Because I know I told you why I didn't listen to you, and that was my fault. You're right. The man that paid for the Rolex should have trumped Rolex. Okay, you want me to take it off? I'm gonna take it off because you bought it. Why didn't you listen to me?
I think my mind was focused on other things that I was trying to do
Financially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was just really a procrastination on my end. It had nothing to do with whether or not if what you were saying was right or not.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with that. I think it had everything to do with me procrastinating and not really understanding how detrimental my procrastination was going to be.
But you realize that you do that a lot of the time when it comes to money.
Wait. What we're not going to do is turn this into what you're doing.
I'm not
You're
trying to
talking
turn
about
Look,
that's my thing up.
because you're
We're
lying.
talking
That's
about
why
a
you're
specific
tongue-tied.
event, and now you're trying to, like make it some broad situation, and I'm trying to figure out why.
I'm saying that's not the first time you cost us a bunch of money waiting to purchase something large. And it ended up costing us a bunch of every vacation we have taken
still doing it.
has costed us thousands of dollars more.
Yeah,
because
no. You're still doing it. That's not true.
99%. 99. East 1999 999. A lot of them.
No, you got it. Finish out the podcast. Finish out.
Oh, that's a good question.
So
Do you have to listen to your spouse when they suggest?
At the end of the day, y'all, I think we got to know our spouses well enough and trust them enough to take certain suggestions. Here's the reality. Certain things our spouses suggest, we're going to go with their suggestion, and it's going to end up being not the right thing to do. It's unavoidable.
And those are not the times for you to be like, I listen to you and
We're not invincible here. We're going to suggest wrong things sometimes.
True.
You know what I mean? But I think we can't allow that to, as best as we can, to affect our trust level with our spouses, especially when we know that our spouses have our best interest at heart. And they want whatever situation that they're making a suggestion towards, we know for sure that they want it to be the best that it can possibly be.
Agreed.
I think that's enough to trust. Me knowing that Ashante wants a great time for our vacation probably would have been a good idea for me to take her suggestion because she's well vested in the outcome of
having a good time.
Us having a good time. So it would have been a good idea for me to do that. Just like her knowing that my thought is I want to protect our investment.
You pay for watch.
And so it would have been a good idea for her to accept my suggestion right then.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to protect our investment.
Yeah.
So I think it's good for you guys to really listen to what your spouses are saying, man. Because
I would take heed to their suggestions because they're vested.
Y'all go share, subscribe. YouTube, Make Marriage Great Again Podcast. Instagram, MMGA Podcast. Facebook, Make Marriage Great Again Podcast. Just go check everything out.
Please.
Website, MakeMarriageGreatAgain.love.
.love.
Go copy your little piece of merch or something, man, and support the movement because we doing it. We holler at y'all next time.